The scare in our skies continues. As many as 25 flights of Indian Airlines in India, essentially, airlines in the country have received bomb threats on Sunday, causing hardships to hundreds of passengers, forcing authorities to move scores of planes to isolation bays at airports, concerned for detailed checks. The developments come a day after more than 130 flights, in fact, of various airlines in India received bomb threats. This week, nearly 100 flights received these threats, sending security agencies into a tizzy. The threats later turned out to be hoax. 6 flights each of Indigo, Vistara, Air India, Akasa Airline, at least 1 flight of Air India Express received the threats on Sunday, according to our sources. Not one, but over 2 dozen, in fact, hoax calls were received just yesterday alone. Remember, it's in fact in a series of hoax calls that have been received by airlines in the country that has, in fact, logjammed the system completely. 25 flights received bomb threats just yesterday. In the last 1 week or so, over 50 bomb threat calls have been received. Piyush getting in more details. Piyush, the government continues to be in a bit of a fix here about how to resolve this situation, how to prevent these hoax bomb calls, especially at a time when we are headed into a festive season. It is extremely worrying. It leads to chaos, disruptions, and big financial losses.
Well, absolutely, Sneha, and sources within the government are telling us that the government is taking all possible steps to deal with this menace. Remember that in the past more than 1 week, around 100 calls have so far been made, and that is the biggest cause of worry for the top government officials. Today, Minister of Civil Aviation, Naidu, is also going to do a press conference, and then we can also learn about the various steps which the government is now mulling to take against the perpetrators behind this very calls. Not only the calls are being made, but a few threats are being given on social media. That is also an important point which the government has now noticed. Remember that the sources within the government were telling us that the government might change some rules, bring amendments in regulations, and also likely to introduce a legislation so that the people behind this can be punished. Moreover, the government was also looking forward to bring a provision of putting these callers in a no-fly list. That is also what the government is working. So there are different things on which the government is right now working on. Today we will get an official word from the Minister of Civil Aviation when he speaks at around 11 a.m. Sneha.
All right. Thanking you for the moment. Piyush Mishra getting us up to speed with those details as far as the hoax bomb threat is concerned. Over 100 flights received hoax bomb threats in last 6 days. Yesterday, 25 flights received hoax bomb threats. Meanwhile, an ex-account user, Adam Glanza 111, has been booked by security forces for spreading bomb hoax on Lucknow to Dammam flight. Indigo's Pune-Jodhpur flight also received a bomb threat, prompting it to land at Jodhpur airport. Multiple Indigo flights received fresh bomb threats today amid a spate of hoaxes. An account on X claims that 12 bombers are on the 6 Indigo planes that received the bomb threat. Airport authorities are on alert following the threat. Indigo said that they are working with the authorities and taking precautions. They emphasize that the safety and security of flyers is paramount here. As of now, Indigo has not filed any official police complaint.
There are continuous that have been observed in the last 1 week especially. So from the ministry, we are thoroughly pursuing these issues, and especially in terms of the cases also have been registered and the police have been pursuing who is behind it. And from the ministry side, we are looking at a change in legislation and also change in some rules. The police have to do the due diligence. They have to catch the perpetrators who are behind this issue. Once we get to them, then it is easier for us to tell why they are doing it, what is the reason behind it.
What next after hoax bomb threat? My colleague Harshita Ahuja spoke with aviation expert Devesh Agarwal amid multiple hoax bomb threats.
What sort of pressures are airlines at the moment grappling with, given the numerous hoax calls that they've had to face over the last 4 to 5 days?
Basically, see, by how do I say, by protocol and by internationally accepted procedure. The moment you get a threat, hoax or otherwise, you have to follow certain, standards, and that includes getting, if the flight is in the air, you get it on the ground. If it's already on the ground, you evacuate the aircraft, you recheck everything. Now that creates disruptions, and as you just spoke to your colleague, the financial element of that is very high. Putting an aircraft on the ground, it adds to operational issues. Pilots and cabin crew are dictated by certain rules that they're allowed to do only so many number of landings, so many number of takeoffs in a particular day. So this whole thing has a very tremendous both operational impact as well as financial impact. That is the direct thing. So the indirect thing, what you're seeing is passengers are beginning to get scared. I very honestly would really like to reassure passengers. I have great confidence in the security apparatus in terms of the actual checks. What the CISF and the other agencies do on the ground within India. I don't see the threat being actually real. If you see, all of these have been hoaxes. The difference, unfortunately, is, and I don't know if you have also noticed, these hoaxes are all directed against Indian carriers. Even international flights are only Indian carriers. They have not been directed against any European carrier. They have not been directed against any American carrier.
Piyush continues to be with us on that story. Piyush, if you could give us a sense of what is now being planned by the government. There was some discussion on a legislation as well, but that was a long-term measure. What are they doing immediately, given that this problem can't be wished away, isn't it?
Well, it's very important to understand, Sneha, that it is not only a security concern, but also a financial problem which the airlines are facing. And that is why the government is taking all the prompt actions. Remember that in the past 1 week, we have seen how the government has been holding series of meetings. Minister of Civil Aviation has been briefed by various stakeholders on the entire developments. Day before yesterday, there was a meeting of a Bureau of Civil Aviation there at Udyan Bhavan, where all the CEOs of airlines were called. So the government is trying to understand as to what the government can further do to control this menace because it is becoming a huge concern. On the other side, we have also seen how the opposition political parties are targeting government over this, saying that earlier it was railways. Now airlines and the passengers are feeling threatened that they are living in a state of terror. This is what the opposition is also saying. So looking at all the aspects, the government is mulling to have stringent protocols as far as dealing with this. We can expect a legislation to be brought by the government in the coming winter session, and then more steps would be taken, likely to be taken by the government. And today there's a meeting also which has been called where all top officials of Ministry of Civil Aviation will be present, and then at around 11 o'clock we can expect official word coming in from Mohan naidu, where we will be hearing as to what steps the government is further going to take.
All right, I'm going to thank you for the moment, Piyush Mishra, getting us up to speed with those details as far as that big headache, not just for the government, but for multiple airlines in the country is concerned here.